think a few people. Okay, cool. Um, do you have a meditation practice at home or anything like that? Okay.
I mean, I've done a little bit, but not consistently.
Okay. Well, so let me just get this set up for us here. Just let it go. Great, we're good. We're good. Yeah. Yeah, just go ahead and let's close the other door as well. There we go. Now we're good. And for you, have you been to this class before? No? Okay. Well, welcome. I first found meditation when I was about 16 years old. We had a career thing at that college I was attending, and we had someone from Tibet that was there, and he had like some different items from his country, Nepal and Tibet. And I had heard about meditation. This is like 1996, so that kind of tells my age a little bit. But I'd heard about meditation, but I didn't really have. And so I asked him, I said, how do you meditate? And he said, oh, it's very easy. He said, find a quiet room. If you can, take your shoes off. Sit with a straight spine. Focus on your breathing. And I said, anything else? He said, no attachments. And I did that for years. That was all I had to go on. And it served me well. I was dealing with a lot of different things going on at that time. And the practice of just sitting and breathing was enough. And I think a lot of times we want to get more information before we do, and so then we never do. And meditation isn't something that you do, but it is something that you have to create space for. Right? And so, why is that important? Well, it's important because we live in two different worlds. We live in this outer world where there's you and I, and we live in the inner world. And both are infinite and vast. And it's really one world that we experience in different ways. And so the meditation is the practice of going within. I was at Harmon's with my daughter yesterday. I don't know which day, but yesterday or the day before. I'm always just kind of like now. It's always just now. And she saw, actually I was wearing this mala, and she asked me, she said, Daddy, that's Buddha, huh? And I said, yes, that's Buddha. And she said, well, why is Buddha important? And I said, because he taught us about meditation. And she said, oh, so we can live heart-centered? And I said, yes. When she was 18 months old, we were at Baba Neil's house, and he has like a little room where he has like different like deities like Ganesh and Shiva, Vishnu, and he had Jesus and all different teachers and thought leaders from many different millennia, and one of them was Buddha. And child, he's like, oh, she knows. I was like, yeah. So because the mind is always going to do one thing. It's going to calculate, it's going to see, do I have the advantage? Am I secure? Am I insecure? Should I be afraid? Should I not do? And that's the ancient mind that's always based on self-preservation. Any animal, it's like they're always running and they're hiding. You don't know why they're hiding, but they're hiding because they could get eaten. But we react emotionally in very much the same way with things much less worse. And so how do you deal with that fight or flight reflex in your body? Do you take a medication for it? Do you just keep on churning on the same thoughts? Or do you find a practice? And the practice is always happening because it takes these two worlds and it brings them together. I had a Spanish book in college, the same college, called Dos Mundos. What is Dos Mundos? Two worlds. And that's what the meditation is. It's two worlds, the right and the left. That's why when we do this, people are like, why do we do this? It's because you're bringing two worlds, the outer world and the inner world, and you're bringing them together at the heart center, peace. Peace is always the nature for the heart. It's the feral, natural nature for the heart. And if you're not in peace nature, it's because something's disturbing you. There's something that's bubbling up. But the natural nature of the heart is always the peace. And the peace will find you the moment you make space for it because it's always there. So a lot of times what you're doing is you're just cleansing. People talk about, I'm attracting. I'm like, just release some stuff and you'll naturally bring in whatever it is that you're looking for. And in fact, our meditation is where we stop looking. People are looking for their purpose and you'll drive yourself crazy. Right? We were talking about that the other day. Just like, stop looking. Like my mentor once said, you can't find it because you're looking for it. It's in your hand. Right? And so the meditation is no attachments. Very, very sage advice. Very sage understanding. Better than advice. Sage awareness is don't look. You're not looking for anything. And in your meditation, they say, kill the Buddha. If you're looking for the Buddha, then you're in the wrong place. Go within. So you're dispensing the ideas. Nothing, no book that someone wrote 2,000 years ago, or 5,000 years ago, or 100 years ago is going to help you. It's going to point you back to you. And if it did that, then that's useful, right? So I always like to kind of have just a little bit of something to get us started, right? And so in this practice, just go ahead and kind of tune into your spine. And very important in this practice is that your spine is placed as tall as you can place it. So a lot of times we're like this, right? And if you're like this, I mean, sometimes you need to be like this if you're like in sparring or something, but in the meditation, the energy of the body needs to be upright. There's a big energetic canal that goes from the root to the crown called the Sushumna. So we want this canal. You can't flow water in a straight line through a crooked pipe, okay? So this is a pipe, a channel of energy flowing up. And so we want to have this pipe become very tall. Good. And then go ahead and kind of just, the legs are crossed together here. So the legs are two, but now they're becoming a unit. So you're bringing them together. They're not really one and they're not two. They're just together, okay? And you're going to feel your lower abdominals kind of lift in. Good. And then you're going to feel the shoulders get broad. And you're going to place your ears over your shoulder. And what you're doing here is you're seeing if you can lift the back of the head up to the sky. And you want to bring your chin into your throat. And you're going to go into what is called the cosmic mudra. And so with the cosmic mudra, you're going to place your left palm in your lap and your right palm atop your left palm. So now you have something for the hands to do. And then you're going to touch the thumbs together like you're just holding a piece of papyrus in the thumbs. And then you can kind of soften your gaze a little bit. and draw your attention inward. The diaphragm down to the lower abdominals as you breathe. And the flow of the breath, it kind of flows like this. The breath flows in, from, like you're filling a pitcher of water all the way up to the rim. And then on the outward flow of the breath, you empty from the top back down to the base. That's how the breath flows. And again, you're beginning to kind of connect to this inner world of being. Just like you have your physical senses to connect to your outer world, the sense of sight and hearing and taste and feeling and smelling. You're going to kind of connect with this inner sense of being, of listening, of perceiving, of attention, of awareness. And so you're going to begin with the body, the thing that is closest to you. And as you go within, the first thing you may notice is this flow of energy, i.e. the breath. And you may feel the breath expanding at the inspire. And releasing at the outflow of the breath. And give yourself a moment here to connect to this flow of energy. It's always occurring from the moment you woke up. Maybe you were aware of it, but it occurred through the night. And at every moment, you're always breathing. And you're connecting to the one that is always meditating you. You can call this the being or the soul. Or if you're not into those terms, maybe the subconscious. Or just perhaps the mind of the body. And notice the temperature of the breath. Is it warm or is it cool? And if sitting in this posture becomes too uncomfortable, you can always feel free to extend your legs or just to lie down on your back. That's okay too. Zen is referred to the way of no way. The important thing is that your work is internal, that you are in your body. The breath, the spirit is indwelling in the body. And notice the inflow of the breath, the movement of energy into the inner world of being. And then notice the outflow of breath, the emergence of yourself moving into the outer world, this breath giving it back from whence it come. Like the river flowing to the sea, and the rain being drawn from the sea, going back into the river. It's just a circle, it's a cycle, a movement of energy, a rhythm. Flow. Some people think that meditation is about being still. And there may be an element of stillness, but there's also a flow. It's rhythmic. and no attachments. Or a thought, don't try to stop it or ignore it. Let it flow like the breath. Release the attachment to it, or the attachment to a meaning of it, and come back to your breath. The breath always leads you into this inner world of being, to being heart-centered. The breath is in the body. When you feel the breath, you become the meditation. And when you become the meditation, you'll feel this movement of energy. In the body, and then gently begin to make your way into the Shavasana. So to stay in this meditation, just kind of bring your hands beside you and just kind of bring the hips off the bolster, place the bolster underneath the knees, and then just kind of find your hamstrings and gently recline the body all the way down onto the earth, all the way down. And separate your legs comfortably apart from each other. And then as well, let the shoulders kind of tuck under. And let the arms kind of rest off beside the body. And kind of bring the chin into the throat so the cervical spine becomes longer. More space. Good. And just kind of take and allow your feet to soften. The body can tend to be like an emotional filter, and we hold on to things. So right now you're letting go. letting in grace and letting go. Letting go of all the yesterdays and the yesteryears. And then let the awareness flow gently, gracefully to the ankles and the shins, and as well the knees. And thank your knees and allow your knees to relax and to soften. As well the strong bones in the femur, all the muscles there as well, the hips, the hands, the fingers, all the arms and the elbows, and as well the back. So now you're lying down, so your back can release. The muscles in your back, the spine aligned perfectly for your body, all the organs, and just feel your ribs expanding as the breath flows easily through the body, almost like the body can breathe itself. And feel the heart space soften, as well the shoulders, the neck, the head. The fascia, the tendons, all of the bones, all of the cells. As the body begins to soften and to rest, then the mind will follow. As the body becomes still and no longer fidgets and rests in this comfortable nature, so too the mind. And the Shavasana is where we go to let things release. In the Sanskrit, it's kind of like setting to the west. And in this sense, the death is just a change of consciousness, leaving one thought form into awareness. The awareness of being, the awareness of in the body, all the awareness that is. And feel the equilibrium of body. And just feel this gentle rising of the breath from the sole of the foot to the crown. And then gentle releasing of the breath from the crown to the sole of the foot. So the body's in a state akin to sleep, but not being subconscious, being very much aware. And feel the equanimity of mind and this gentle rising of the breath from the soul to the crown, on from the crown to the soul. And usually the breath's about a 5 count. So you just kind of breathe in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A slight pause. And then release the breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath out. And again, breathe in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release the breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And just breathe. And as you keep the awareness on the breath, begin to allow the awareness to increase at your feet. And as you feel a greater awareness in your feet and the 10 toes and the ankles, feel a rejuvenation and a refreshment of all these cells. Again, through the legs, up to your knees and your strong leg bones, the femurs, all through your hips, all through the organs and the abdominals and the spinal column and the chest. All the brain, and the heart that beats and the heart that feels, the mind. So everything is saturated in awareness, and every cell. And now just kind of go ahead and give a little sigh. Have that nice lengthening here. Just go ahead and gather the knees into your chest. Give yourself a big hug here. Apanasana. Apanasana. And normally after a yoga class, we go to the warming side of the body or the cooling side of the body. After meditation, the tradition is to go to the warming side of the body, which would be the right side. Excuse me, the left side. Left side, yes. Pardon me. So it's your left side, yeah. Left side is the warming, right side is the cool. Because excuse me comes from the word execute me, which you don't want to say that. Right? Bring awareness into all of your words, very important. So you're resting on the left side of your body, the warming side of your body. And you're just kind of, you're not really in Shavasana, but you're not really up yet. You're kind of in between worlds. That's kind of like what I've experienced in this posture. It's like you're in between the worlds. It's like taking a little siesta or being at the beach or kind of in nature. You're just in between worlds. You're not asleep. You're not all the way awake. You're just kind of in between. You're in the middle. Wayne Dyer would call the gap. You're in the gap. You're in between thoughts, in between worlds, in between lifetimes. And this is a beautiful space for you to cultivate and decide what manner of sitting or what incarnation you're going to choose as you sit up. The tradition when you come from Shavasana and practice this afternoon with 3 ohms. So Om is a beautiful thing. It's I always see it as sort of like the the sound of light. Or if you could give voice to awareness, it would be something like Om. And it's also very high vibration too. So the higher vibration it depletes the lower vibrations. So it really just kind of cleanses the energies. And usually whatever we're dealing with, the antidote to that is awareness. Ignorance is in fear and in doubt, but awareness I go, ah. So the Om is Ah, O, Om. Let's begin. Breathe in. Om. In this practice, may peace keep you and serendipity meet you on your path. Until next time.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So I just went into the transit thing. Hi, how you doing?
Good.
Thank you.
So maybe after some of our classes, we may have like a Q&A afterwards. So you guys can comment below. This is our Friday 12:15 meditation. It's a pleasure to practice with you guys. I hope you have a beautiful day, and we'll see you next time.